Hi, Charlie.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me today. How are you?
Thank you. Yeah, I've been all right today. I've been sitting in the garden doing my emails, so
Yeah,
vitamin D, whilst I deal with email mountain, is much nicer.
absolutely. It's been a lovely day today. Yeah, right. Well, let's get straight in started with our in conversation. Um,
Cool.
how are you coping with the lockdown?
Little bit of both sides of the coin, really. At the beginning, it was a weird mixture of this is very strange and this is really speaking to my introvert side. Like someone telling me to stay indoors for weeks, I was like, how I can do that? So yeah, there was a lot of that, but I think as the weeks have gone on and the lack of routine has really set in, I've had a few good days and followed by a few serious, like on the brink of burnout days.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a heady mixture.
You're finding yourself working too much then? As in, like,
Or
you can't stop or...
yeah, trying to work too much. It's not like I've been producing more work, but I've been putting more pressure on myself to produce that ton of work.
Yeah, yeah, no, I get that. I get that. I
Mm.
felt a bit like it because I think I don't know if it's external. It's probably internal. We sort of just put so much pressure on ourselves to be on top of our game at
Well,
all
there's a lot to
times.
do. I think like a good amount of it is to do with how social media has been projecting this whole lockdown thing, because people have been loving to post about how much they've been exercising and learning 400 languages and doing all this and doing all that, and look how great everything is. And all of us sitting on the other side of the screen thinking, crap, mine's not like that. Am I doing it wrong?
Yeah, no, absolutely, no, I get that. Um,
Yeah.
but for anyone who hasn't had the pleasure of meeting you at our event, can you just like quickly introduce yourself and what it is that you do?
Yeah, I'm Charlie. I live here in Norwich, right in the city. I am a full-time freelance illustrator and speaker on all things creative and freelance and business and things like that. I illustrate mostly for publishing, so books, kids' books, graphic novels, that kind of thing. And I graduated from Norwich University of the Arts about 5 years ago with my illustration degree. So that's me.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we talked the other day saying that you lecture as well on top of all of that.
Yeah, yeah, no,
How,
I love doing that. I did my first talk years and years and years ago at City College here in the city, and it was terrifying. I'd never done anything like it before, and it was an hour-long talk, and I was bricking myself. But when it finished, it didn't feel like an hour; it felt like 10 minutes, and I loved it, and I got such a buzz from it. And ever since then, I've been doing everything I can to get in and do lectures and talks, and yeah, I
yeah.
love it. It's really, really fun. I'm one of those weirdos that really enjoys public speaking.
Many of us do. Not all of us are great at it as you are, but we try our best. Have you been
Oh,
able to keep up the lecturing whilst obviously have you been able to sort of find a solution for that or
it's in the very early stages of finding a solution. So I know the folks that I do a lot of my talks through are finding some digital solutions to how we can do it. I did my first live lecture for Access Creative last week or the week before, and that was really cool. And the software they used was amazing. So it was really nice to see that there are stable, good solutions to being able to deliver lectures. So yeah, there are solutions out there, but it's been very, very like I had to cancel a lot of them, obviously,
yeah,
up
no.
until that point.
No, absolutely. I think finding the right software solution is actually quite a hard task. Also, depending on budgets and stuff like that, and there's just too much choice at the moment. It feels so to me, anyhow. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So we've been. I've been asking this question with the others as well. The media and lots of social media started talking about the bookshelves in the background. So
Oh, right.
I'm currently asking everyone, so if you could choose one or two books that have sort of shaped you or maybe something that you're reading at the moment, what,
Yeah.
what inspires Charlie?
I'm just looking at the bookshelf now. I'm trying to work it out. Okay, I've got one from one of my favourite illustrators in the whole world, Beatrice Blue. So she released this book, Wonder, on Kickstarter a few months ago, and it's gorgeous. I'm obsessed with her work, and it's not a storybook, it's just a book about like her process, like about how she selects her colours and how she storyboards her work. And it's a beautiful, beautiful book. And if I get stuck, which happens a lot, then if I give this a flick through, I do inevitably finish with some sort of idea or some sort of thing I can start doing. So this is one of my very favourites.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful book. And
It's
the colours.
gorgeous. I wish you could feel it as well. Like, it's so tactile, the stuff she got it printed on. I love it.
Oh, that's fab. That's fab. Well, are there any other, what else do you read? Do you read fiction or just self-development, or do you, like, I'm an Audible girl. Oh, sorry, say that again.
No, it's fine. I was just saying I'm rubbish at actually getting around to reading. Like, yeah, I should give Audible a try, but I always default to, if I'm going to listen to something, I listen to podcasts, because they're episodic. I can cut them up when I need to. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I do agree with you. I did. I only fell into Audible because I was ill and I couldn't read. So, and I've never been a big reader. Like, the only thing that I would actually read would be like self-development books or books about event management and health and safety, which is really
Oh, it sounds thrilling. You'll have to give me some recommendations.
Yeah. Oh God, I do actually have a copy upstairs of the National Health and Safety Executive.
I've been hoping to get my hands on that. The sequel's rubbish.
I know. I'll send you a copy.
Thanks.
Yeah, I that's how I went into Audible. Started to, because I get through it faster because I'm a really slow reader. But podcasts. So let's talk about podcasts instead. Doesn't matter. Different medium. What do you love?
Okay. Oh boy. Some real nerdy stuff. I wish I could say I listen to loads of illustration and business podcasts. I'm so on it. In reality, it's D&D podcasts and comedy podcasts.
What's D&D?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Amazing.
I'm very cool.
I knew what it meant, but I just thought some people might not, so I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I like them because I feel like if I listen to illustration-based stuff and then look at illustration-based stuff and then try and do illustration, it feels like too much. It's too sensory overload. So if I have that sort of comedy relief thing to having on the background, it really helps me actually focus on the illustration. But I have listened to creative podcasts, like Creative Pep Talk is incredible. That's a really, really good creative and freelance and illustration based podcast. That's an amazing one.
Sorry. Two pigeons are fighting just outside my door. Just
no!
Life out of me.
Guys, do you mind? I'm busy.
I'm recording here. Go away. Well, I agree with you. I don't really listen to many event-specific podcasts. There are some out there, and there's some really great ones out there. And sometimes it's good to sort of, when GDPR was coming out, or when there was like some new big stuff that I had to read up on, and that was a good resource. But I love a bit of comedy, and sometimes you just need to distract yourself and have a bit of a brain pause.
Yeah, it makes everything feel a bit more lighthearted as well, because I can get quite stressed and anxious while I'm doing certain work, especially if it's client work that I'm not sure if it's going well or not. So if I have on, it's so silly, either if I have on a comedy podcast or the kind of music like Tinkeli Tonkeli kids adorable music. I should live in a cartoon. If it's that or comedy podcasts, I'll be all right.
Yes, I have a Spotify playlist that I listen to if I need to concentrate, and it's called Before the Storm.
Oh.
And it's basically lots of plingy math rock, but it's great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Currently, my favourite at the moment, in terms of podcasts, is, and I need to look it up because I'm rubbish, no such thing as a fish.
What's that? I've heard of that. I swear I've heard of that.
It's the guys behind QI, like the researchers of QI.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I saw it, yeah.
And every week they come up with these really random facts. And it's funny, but it's also quite educational because you go, what? Really? Is that true?
I like that. That's why I like, have you ever listened to Sawbones?
Sawbones?
Yeah, Sawbones. It's a medical history podcast. It's by a couple of people that I really like anyway, because I listen to their other podcast too. And the lady who hosts it is a doctor and her husband is not, and it's her trying to explain to him cool things from medical history.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And they have different
Sawbones.
themes. Yeah, Sawbones. Yeah, they have a different theme for every episode.
I'll look that up. That'd be quite interesting, actually.
They're really, really cool. Some of them are grim, but you'd expect so.
Well, yeah, that's sort of normal, isn't it? I did notice with no such thing as a fish, very often you end up talking about either poo or other things that isn't. But you can't beat a poo conversation, can you?
That's the highest quality of conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah. Talking about poo.
Really?
Segueing. So I've got a jar of random questions. So cool. I've been pulling one out each episode, one or two, and I genuinely can't remember what is in here because I wrote them a couple of years ago. So they might be really appropriate or really inappropriate. So far, we've been all right.
What's your favourite bar to go to at the moment? Yeah, that'll probably be.
Yeah. Oh, we did have one. We had one which was, what is really like in fashion at the moment and won't be in 5 years' time? Which I thought was a bit like, if I asked that just before lockdown, that might have gone down quite well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. This is really weird because I had to read it twice, and I think it's mildly inappropriate, but we'll go with it. If your 5-year-old self suddenly found themselves inhabiting your current body, what would your 5-year-old self do first? I'm going to be honest, I may have been drunk when I wrote this.
I love that. That's brilliant.
It sounds so dodgy.
I'm trying to steer away from the dodge.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna try and think about this as well.
The very, very first thing I'd do is get excited and pet my dog. Because I'd be excited that there was a dog and I had a dog. I'd get really excited because I've always been obsessed with them. So yeah, that would probably be the very first thing.
I would probably be absolutely sort of intrigued and horrified at my scar and go, what the hell have I done?
It's a very good point.
I would go like, what is this?
This had better have a cool story.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially.
Was there a bed?
I'll tell you this story now. And it's we're on a private YouTube channel, so this is okay. So hopefully it will stay in between you and me and the people watching. So I was looking at my scar last year, and obviously in the event industry, sometimes it's quite like a male-dominated, sort of laddish environment, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be very funny. And I was standing with the lads at our festival field, and they were doing like, don't know what they were talking about, but just bullshit, like normal. And I suddenly said, like, I can bet you one thing, I have a bigger penis than all of you combined. And they looked at me like, what are you on about, Barbara? And I have this scar, and what I did was I took a biro and put a line here, and because of the way it curves, it just looks like a massive penis. And I was just like, oh my God, look at this. And they all went, oh. And no, I could see the awkwardness on their faces because no one knew whether to laugh, cry, or Like, and in the end, we all laughed, and it was funny.
Good.
The blokes found it quite funny, and the girls looked at it and was like, "Oh, but it could be a flower." And I'm like, "No, I'm quite happy with penis on my arm. That's fine."
I love the reaction when you end up outladding a lad. They don't know what to do. They get so confused.
Oh, I think one of the guys just went, "Shots! We need shots!"
Oh my god.
We've lost Barbara. Barbara's gone mad. Right. On that really weird question, let's put out a better one.
It's a beautiful note.
Yes. Oh, I can't believe I recorded this on every this oh dear.
It's recorded forever.
Oh, okay, right. This one. What is the weirdest thing you have seen in someone else's home?
Oh my god. This is really hard. I'm trying to go back to student days. When there was weird stuff in student days. Okay, no, I've got one. It was when we were viewing houses, so technically I don't know if these people were still living there or not, but we were left to just wander about this house and have a look around ourselves, and me and my student buddies, and then we saw one little wasp on the floor that was dead at the bottom of the stairs. We were like, okay, that's kind of gross. And then some more up the stairs. It was like a little breadcrumb trail of wasps. We were like, this is weird. Let's follow the wasps. This is kind of weird. And then we went up the stairs all the way up into the attic room, where there was this cluster of dead wasps that had crawled out from under the skirting board, where there was a massive wasp's nest. And it's just disgusting, the amount of wasps in this house. And then later on, as we were wandering around, we saw the landlord cleaning, and we peered round into the room that he was cleaning in, and he pulled out in that second an entire roast chicken carcass from underneath a bed.
Oh god. Yeah.
It had been there for a while.
Oh god.
We did not rent this house.
I was going to say, did you rent the house? No.
No. Don't want the chicken wasp house. We don't want that one.
Oh no. And that's what it's going to be called from now onwards, the chicken wasp house.
Yeah, it was rank.
We had a similar one, but we actually moved into this one. But we'd already moved in, and then we realised that in the kitchen everything was sticky. Like it was clean, like it looked clean, but when you touched it, there was still like this stick effect.
Oh.
And we're like, what the hell? And then it took us a while to figure it out, because we cleaned that kitchen for hours. We were using, like, we went, students have loads of cleaning materials, so we went like to go get like the biggest bleach stuff, and it took us hours just to try and get rid of this stick. And it turns out that the students that were in before us were from a sort of Asian background. I don't know where exactly, but they deep fried all their food. So
oh no, it was like oil.
It was oil was everywhere, and we did notice that like the cooker was like untouched. It was like brand new, like it's never been used. So they basically never used the normal cooker. They had the deep fat fryer, and everything they cooked was in the deep fat fryer.
Oh my god! I mean, you say Asian background. I'm thinking more American background for that one.
Well, yeah, but I think it's in some cultures they just like, I think even if you do a stir fry, if you do it in a traditional way, you actually have a lot more oil in it, and it just
really
it sprays everywhere.
Oh,
yeah. But
everything gets so grimy and horrible.
Yeah. So, but if you do that over an entire academic year, that's
oh my god!
Out. So yeah, we had the fatty kitchen.
Fatty kitchen and chicken wasp house. Lovely.
Yeah, lovely. Student life, hey, it's so glamorous, isn't it?
Oh, it is just, I do not miss it even a little bit.
Yeah.
I
was just thinking in terms of weird things in houses, I think the most, maybe not weird, but remarkable house I've ever been in was back in Switzerland. And it was, I don't think they're my parents' friends, but they're sort of business acquaintances. And they were collectors of organs.
as in musical organs.
Okay, good. Thanks for clarifying that one. Yeah.
Body organs.
Like in jars, like, oh.
And they had this massive, like, if you imagine like a church organ.
Wow.
But they had to build their house around the organ. So
oh my God.
at the top of the house, the bit of the organ went out, it went out of the house.
That's so cool.
And it was like mental. And the layout of the house didn't really make much sense, but it was basically all surrounding this organ. And then they have loads of other like really old antique instruments that you definitely weren't allowed to touch. So
it's like something out of a book. I love it.
Yeah, if you have lots and lots of money, that's the type of thing you can spend your time with.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't actually know what happened to them. So yeah, there you go. On that note.
That's well cool though. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So shall we pull another one out? We've got time for another one.
Yeah, sod it.
Because the first one was a bit of a non-question or a bit serious. I don't know if my expectations towards you are realistic in this or not, but I expect you to be quite good at this.
Okay.
So, what's a movie you can practically quote from start to finish? Do you have one of those movies where it's like you're so into it, you basically can talk the whole thing through?
There's not many movies that I could do that with, but I definitely can do that with some TV shows. That's
the same thing, but we'll open it up. Yeah.
Okay. 100% Buffy is at the top of the list.
Yes.
Any episode of Buffy starts, I'm like, oh, I know the script. Yeah. Buffy definitely. Another one. Very Joss Whedon based, Firefly. I can definitely do everything from that.
Not seen that. Mine's more Friends, which is, Friends.
I never watched it. If there is an order, I never watched it in order. It was always just, when you're a teenager, it's on E4 all the time.
No, I have watched it and rewatched it and watched it again.
Wow. I've done that with Parks and Rec. I've watched and rewatched 100 times of that because it's so happy.
I have done it also, and this is going to be an awful thing to say out loud because it's the sort of thing that you shouldn't really. Oh God, I'm having a roll today. I did the same with Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, and the Gilmore Girls.
Oh my God, it's the trifecta. That's all of them.
I know.
Wow.
I've spent too much time of my life watching TV as a teen, so no. I used to love them, and the worst thing is because they I had like Netflix or Amazon, one of them for a short while, and I saw they had like I think it was Dawson Creek on it, and I watched like a really early episode and I nearly died because I was like, oh my God, this is so awful. How did I watch it? I used to love
it. It's so cringy.
Love it so much. Like teenage.
I mean, I'm like that with Drag Race. If you watch old episodes of Drag Race, you're like, oh no, none of this was good.
Oh.
Yeah, films wise though, I don't know about films. I mean, Mulan maybe. I could definitely do the songs from Mulan. I'm not a massive Disney person, but Mulan's just like the coolest.
Yeah, I grew up with Disney princesses. I always thought it would be really cool to be a Disney princess, and then more recently realised that really shouldn't be life goals.
No, unless it's Mulan because she saved China and she was awesome.
Absolutely.
And she has a cool sword.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Mulan was one of like the main things that made me start doing martial arts when I was a kid because I saw how cool she was. I was like, oh, I want to do that.
I had one of those, but it's not very well known in the UK. But in Switzerland, we used to watch this cartoon called Mila, and she was it was like an anime, and it was basically this volleyball player So that's what got me into playing volleyball when I was young.
Nice.
Yeah, as a cartoon called Mila.
Oh, let's have a look at that.
Yeah, and it's really cool, but again, probably really appropriate in the 90s, probably less appropriate nowadays.
There's a lot of stuff like that. You rewatch old stuff and you're like, none of this has aged well. Oh no. It is like that with a lot of Friends though, isn't it? You rewatch episodes of Friends and you're like, oh guys, no.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely. And I do wonder now with the pandemic and stuff, if there's going to be like large section of entertainment stuff that you'll look back and go, oh, that's like, yeah, not really as appropriate.
No, yeah, I reckon so. I reckon there's gonna be a lot of buzzwords and things that are like, yeah, let's tone that down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right. So weekend tomorrow. I was going to say, what are you up
Is
to?
it?
Any big plans?
Oh yeah. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Sit in the garden.
Yeah, I sat in the garden for a good while today. I mean, the only plans I've got is I'm going to try and take Sunday off because I've got another D&D game on Sunday. So, gonna play some D&D on Sunday. Yeah, it's just trying to force myself to have time off because normal people have weekends. I have to keep reminding myself that because I'm self-employed, always forget.
Yeah, I'm lucky because I've got the other half that reminds me. So
yeah,
when he's logged off, then he makes me very much aware to log off too. I thought, all right.
Good. That's useful. Yeah, no, I need to. I've desperately been trying to get better at that lately because, yeah, again, I just have to keep reminding myself it's normal to have 2 whole days off a week, whereas most weeks I'll feel bad for having 1 half day off.
Yeah, my problem is more that I potter about so much that actually my productivity has sort of gone down a bit.
Oh yeah, mine too.
Yeah, but then saying that, I don't actually work that much anyhow at the moment, which is by design, so it's not that bad thing.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
See, I've got deadlines, like a lot of deadlines at the moment, and I will still be. I'm so glad this is a private YouTube channel. I'll still be dicking about around the house, not really doing the work, which I should be doing.
Well, we all end up doing that to a bit. And well, the thing is, I do not have any deadlines. I mean, there's nothing happening, no trade shows. The festival's now been postponed by a year as well. So, but there's still loads to be done. And with the Good Eggs the same, like I want to be ready for when we can get going again. But it's imposing those deadlines on yourself is actually quite difficult.
It's so hard. Self-imposed deadlines are so hard. Like the only way I've been able to get around it is telling like friends, like peers in the same industry as me, like I am going to get this done by then. Yeah. Check in on me, like make sure I do it. Yeah. And then they will be like, so how's this going? Have you done this? Have you done that? And that helps.
That's amazing. I've taken a bit of a different approach. I have decided to basically do certain things that are good for me, that keep me like sane and healthy on a really regular basis. And I found that by doing that, I've automatically started doing other things which are also sort of more progressive in terms of my self-development or my career or whatever it may be.
That's good. What sort of things?
Without having to force myself and sit down. Well, it's just like it's small things like daily exercise, meditation, being on top of the house, just like having more or less order. Because if there's I'm someone that if the house is in chaos, I can't concentrate.
Yeah.
My brain.
I know what you mean. Yeah, if you go downstairs and like there's 800,000 dishes to do and the floor's filthy and stuff, and you're just like, ugh, can't.
Yeah, so I think the tidiness of my house quite often reflects the tidiness of my brain.
So, yeah, no, I completely get that. Like I feel the need to make myself tidy in a way. Like I'm still like keeping on top of my roots. I don't want my hair to get rubbish, and I'm painting my nails and put a bra on every morning.
Yeah, no, I've given up that. Nah, can't do that. Seriously.
It's a soft one. There's no wire. It's fine.
Well, yeah. See, I can't do that, unfortunately. But that's been one of the biggest reliefs. Is like those fucking bras. Bloody hurt.
God, yeah. If you've got to wear one of them, like the wire.
No. Unless I'm going for a run, of course, because otherwise I'd beat myself to death. So
get a black eye.
I think on that note, we have come to our 30 minutes.
What a good grown-up conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both adults,
so next time we're at a good egg event and someone asks me if I recently beat myself to death with my boobs, I'll understand where it came from.
Yep, you'll know.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go and swap this in for a gin because it's that time of day, and it's been very lovely to catch up with you. So lovely.
It's been lovely.
I'm glad that I'm glad that you're busy and you got work to do, because that's like a really good thing to have.
Oh God, me too, because it was so stressful having to go through my calendar when lockdown was first announced and delete all the paid things I had coming up, just literally hitting delete over and over again. And I was like, oh, this is all money. Oh God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel I'm in a very privileged position where I do still have work coming in and I do still have savings. So I like to acknowledge that I am privileged right now. So yeah, I can't complain as much as most folks.
And ultimately that's all we can do, or we can be grateful for the things that we have and then try to make the most out of circumstances.
Yeah. I mean, I've been trying to pay some of that forward, and like all my groceries and stuff I try and get from independents, and I've been buying prints from some Illustrator buddies. So here's hoping can kind of tip the scales a little tiny, as much as I'm capable right now.
We've done something similar. As you can see, I have some plants now. So anyone who's been watching will have seen a progression in my shelf filling up.
I love it.
I've got mystery plants, also from one of the independent people. So we've been doing that as well. But obviously I could go mad on internet spending at the moment because I can't go shopping.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's
deadly.
So within measure, steady.
Yes.
Anyhow, so lovely to see you. You take care of yourself and we'll catch you soon.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye.